Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. By the grace of Almighty, again, we are here today with you with a fantastic topic and some brilliant, vibrant scholar today in our community talks platform. Again, I'm very grateful to Almighty who has given us that opportunity to be here with you with a time-befitting and time-fit topic that is academic frustration and mental wellness during COVID-19 and potential ways of recovery. We're very delighted to have some fantastic guests and world-renowned scholar from Bangladesh and India. So let me introduce with them very soon. I'm here, myself, Habibur Rahman, the community talks, that is my dream. Community talks, this is YouTube platform, that is a community leaders platform, irrespective of age, sex, religion, and economic status, geographical locations, and all person from all walks of life are a leader, treated as a leader. So community talks will declare all these things. Dear viewers, I'm very delighted to invite our honorable guest of the session today. So let me introduce our guest with you very soon. Hello. Dear viewers, dear friends, guardians, colleagues from home and abroad. In the session, we are very delighted to have our honorable guest. Let me introduce from the bottom left, Mr. Muniruzzaman. He is professor of Asha University, assistant professor, Department of English. He is a renowned scholar, research scholar of UNDP, UNICEF, so many projects. He is doing work in Bangladesh, and he is ex-additional director of HACEP, that is Higher Education Enhancement Project in tertiary level, funded by Bangladesh government, Ministry of Education and World Bank. Mr. Muniruzzaman, heartiest welcome to you to be with us today. Professor J. Ali, in the left corner, left, very smart. Professor J. Ali, he is currently head of Department of Business Administration, International Scholars University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. He is Associate Professor of Business Administration Department. He is a renowned writer, young writer and research scholar. Professor J. Ali, very delighted to have you here today. And of course, he is a master trainer that I forgot to mention in the name of Mr. Muniruzzaman. He is a master trainer in tertiary level education. So both of you are very delighted to be here with you. And let me introduce Professor Dr. Muhammad Shahadat Hussain. He is from North-South University, the ranked university in Bangladesh and global renowned university in Bangladesh. Professor Shahadat Hussain is a master trainer. He is head of the department. He is professor of mathematics and engineering science of North-South University. He is current additional director. He is German research scholar. So Mr. Shahadat Hussain, Dr. Shahadat, we are very happy to have you here, sir, today.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Dear viewers, very delighted in the panel to have Dr. Dimpi Mahathir from Guwahati Cotton University, India, and she is ex-professor of Delhi University. She was doing her PhD in Delhi University in psychology. She is psychiatrist. She is a trainer. She is research scholar. So we are very delighted to have you here in that episode on academic frustration and mental wellness. Dr. Dimpi, you are welcome here in that show.
Thank you, Professor Rahman.
How are you, sir? All together, how are you? This is a scholarly gathering in Facebook.
Certainly, well, yes, fine.
Let me share you some views. Actually, for COVID issue, I mean coronavirus and COVID-19 has panicked us over the last few months globally, and World Health Organization and some other health-related institutions globally declared COVID-19 as a global pandemic. This is a human disaster. This is a psychological disaster. This is economic disaster globally. So during COVID, actually, so many sessions being held throughout the world. My passion is to work in community, work with young generations, not only young generations, work with community people actually, and this is a great community concern. So you might see the grand title of the episode is Stay Home, Stay Healthy during COVID-19, a community social work concern. As a social worker, you are also a social worker, so my concern is how we can keep people happy and healthy at home during COVID-19. And today's episode is academic frustration and mental well-being or wellness, you can say, of academic graduates. But I beg pardon, our discussion will not be limited within only the graduates who has already completed their academic courses. Still, those who are studying in different universities in Bangladesh and some parts of India, we will bring them together to have a broader aspects of discussion. So let me go on the session. I would like to come first on Professor J. Ali. As a trainer, I know this time you are under pressure to communicate with so many of your stakeholders, friends, and students. Just explain some actions of COVID-19 scenario in home and your office. Just a brief time is 2 minutes, Professor J. Ali. Please go on.
Thanks, Professor Habib, and my fellow, my viewers. Assalamu alaikum. Also, actually, we are passing very hard time, very seen in our life. So, being a teacher, actually, for long days, at least last 3 months, I did not see my students, colleagues, even my friends and family members also, and we are passing so hard time actually. That is extremely hard for me, hard for you, hard for all the persons those are living in our surroundings. So I will tell you the major. Actually, in this situation, we have to pass, we have to live, and we have to survive, and we have to we have to formulate a policy and guidelines. How can we live well? How our students will live well? How they will pass a fantastic life, even though or side by side with COVID pandemic or COVID panic. So globally, it's a phenomenon. You know, we are not beyond the problem. So in the staying in problem, Mr. Habib. So we
Yes,
have
please.
to find a way how we will survive and how we will go away in our own way, inshallah.
Sure. Great. Yeah, it's a time concern really, just to survive for this 2020. This is a very tough year. We are passing through this in academia, in a financial crisis, in transformation of. It's a point of transformation of society. So let's come to Professor Munirujjaman. So how you are passing your current days are in COVID-19, because we are in a panic situation. We are suffocating situation really, and staying at home. Please, sir, go on.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Habib. Good evening to everyone, dear panelists, and also the viewers who are watching this program today. And it's nice to talk here and share my views with everyone. So obviously, this is a very tough time for everyone, but I'm always a positive thinker. So what I think is that whenever some crisis comes, the human beings, the human beings are so created in such a way that they can adapt to any situation. Now, if you look at the street of Dhaka city, at the beginning, when the lockdown came first in March, and then up to even April, the people were very, very scared, and then very few people were there on the street. Now, the rate of infection and the rate of death is increasing day by day. Still, now you see that people are still doing their works in the streets. They go for their daily necessities. So the thing is that, according to the World Health Organization's their projection, this COVID-19 is not leaving us so soon. So we must learn how to live with this. So at this moment, if I say in last 2 or 3 months, since we are at home, then we are also having university classes online. our students are also getting used to this, and even my sons, they are also getting used to online classes of their school. So what is happening is that, at first, whenever any new crisis comes, people get shocked,
Yeah, yeah.
and within few minutes, people manage the shock, and now they think in more full brain. So
Sure.
at the beginning, people cannot think in that way. So now we are actually getting used to this situation. And obviously, by this time, maybe if you say that when the things will come to normal life, still, I mean, before that, maybe we will have to lose many lives, but we have to look forward. So we are going through crisis at the same time every day, we can say, both physically and mentally and socially as well. We are developing antibodies. So we are developing not only our physical antibody, we are developing our mental and social antibody as well, I believe. So the things are getting positive, and since most of the offices are now doing their activities online, universities are having classes online, people are getting used to, and we are every day learning new skills. And one of such examples is also our today's session. This is my first time this kind of participation in some online based live session. So we are getting used to, we are learning things, and that's why every crisis also brings a kind of opportunity for us. So we have to think about that as well. We have to know how to manage the problem. At the same time, we have to also learn and think positively how to live with this, and then how to find out the opportunity from here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Actually, we all are in same situation, more or less. So let's come to some idea from India. Dr. Mehta, how do you explain your current situation? Actually, are you already used to COVID-19 or passing through panic time here in your family, in your office, marketplaces? So far, there is lockdown over the months last, right? So could you please share your current time, how you are passing? Because I mean, mental
A very
therapist
good
or the
evening.
mentor, yeah, having some panic. Please
A very
go
good
on.
evening. Yeah, in fact, this is my first Facebook Live. Thank you, Professor Habib, for having given me this opportunity and to speak on such an important issue. As far as COVID-19 is concerned, as we all know, it has taken a toll on human lives, and it has become a pandemic. And last few months, it has not been easy for anyone all across the world. And many countries around the world had, were initially a bit reluctant to go for lockdown and also restrict the movement of people. And probably governments were a little complacent initially, and they were not really very prepared, and they were not actually viewing the threat of this virus can cause. But then with time, we have realized that it is a dangerous situation. It is a life-threatening situation. That's when the entire world had decided to go for a complete lockdown. And thanks to our Prime Minister of India, that his foresightedness and farsightedness rather, and his quick decision-making power, that he had gone for a complete countrywide lockdown sometime around March. And as far as our situation as of now is concerned in India, now we are heading towards lockdown 5.0. So from 31st of May onwards, we are going for that. So what I would say is that it has impacted everyone, every section of the society. You talk about homemakers, housewives, you talk about professionals who are working at home, talk about a student community. And in fact, I'm very happy that you brought up this topic for today's discussion, and very relevant. And in fact, being a student counselor, I'm a part of the student counseling team of our university. So quite often students contact me with their problems, and there are quite a few problems. And in fact, the main reason is that there was no other option besides going for complete countrywide lockdown. And in fact, lockdown has led to a complete standstill in the society, and never in our life we had experienced such a scenario. And because of this, it has led to a prevailing sense of fear amongst the masses. It has led to a lot of uncertainty and a lot of erratic behavior in the society, as we have observed in recent times. And as Dr. Zaman had also said, that human things are adaptable. So slowly we are getting adapted to the new situation, the new normal, as I call it. And but then still, it has definitely had a great impact on the mental health of every individual in the society, and more so in the student community. Firstly, because this is an entirely new situation. Second is that everything came up so suddenly that none of us were really prepared for this particular situation. Thirdly, our entire body's homeostasis has gotten disturbed because our routine has gotten completely
right.
topsy-turvy. So overall mental health definitely has gotten very badly impacted.
Okay. Dr. Dimpy, we are coming soon again to you actually for more discussions. So let me talk to Professor Dr. Muhammad Shadat Hussain from North South University. So Professor Shadat, how are you? That is my question actually. How are you? Because you have
Yeah.
everything like other speaker, other people, right? But how are you? That is the question of today.
Oh well, Alhamdulillah, I'm fine with the grace of Almighty. Yeah, I'm learning everything time to time how to adapt to new situation. And yeah, there are some startup in teaching that people learn by doing. But in my case, I am learning and doing and learning in the same time. So my schedule is busy during this time. You know that we have started the first time online classes at NSU, and then as a head of the Department of Mathematics and Physics, it's hard to teach mathematics online. So we have to develop online strategy, teaching strategy for our students. In the same time, I would like to share with you that during the COVID time, we have taken almost 1,000 classes online in my department. And every time we have some feedback from the students and also from the teachers. So while we got the feedback from both sides, we have gathered all this feedback and design new strategy. And also, it was very
Actually, it might be internet problem. Last few days we are suffering from internet problem. Really, this is a great crisis, and number of users are very more, really more than previous year and previous time. So uh, we till Professor Shahadat comes in, let me share you some views and COVID situation today, dear viewers from home and abroad. I beg pardon, as we have invited speaker from India and session on graduates. Actually, we are trying to speak and share views in English. Please never mind, because our foreign guest actually can understand Bengali. That's why. Please pardon us, and hope you will take this positively. But you might put comments both in Bengali or English. It's open for all. We'll just take it very positively. Until today, I mean today's scenario of COVID-19 in Bangladesh, Dr. Dimpi, just let me share you today's situation in Bangladesh COVID-19. Till today, total positive affected number is 42,844, and people died till today 582, and get well number is 9,015. Today, number identified 2,523. This is positive today, but tested 11,301. Actually, till today, that is the statistics. It's gradually becoming more and more. But government is trying to aware people by dint of all means. But people are actually puzzled and panicked. People don't love to stay home. People don't love to stay composed. That is the problem. Current time it's going on. So let's say we are waiting for Mr. Shahadat Hussain, and let me give you an overview. So many friends and followers already joined us. Let me greet them. They are trying to greet us. one from this is Cosmetic Traveler. His name is different actually. He's with us. Dear sir, I'm waiting to hear from you. Alamin, Assalamu alaikum. Shakti Prabha from India. Dr. Shakti, thank you. Alamin, thanks a lot. Good evening, Professor. This is Dr. Shakti Prabha. Banshidhar Pandey from India. Very good evening. Mohammad Ariful Haq Sharkar. He is a very good speaker, public speaker and mentor marketer from Bhalo Thakun Bhalo Rakhun page. Greeted us. Shikhan Ahmed, Guru Wasam. Actually, somebody mentioned Guru to the Professor J. Ali. He is really a Guru in mentoring session, really. Guru. Mehdi Hassan, excellent delivery, Professor J. Ali. Julfikar, okay. Mahfuzur Rahman. Very pleased to see you, Julfikar Bhai. Thanks, Maruf. Richa Chaudhuri from India, good. Ashaf Siddiq. Hi, Jia Bhai. Ashaf, thank you. Tawfiq Hassan Shakil wrote, graduates are very much frustrated in this pandemic situation. It's really, and that's why we selected the topic for you, Tawfiq, and so many scholars and graduates, current students, even school level students. We will just pick some points from that. And I think they are not in a good mood of taking preparation for jobs, so mental states not so well. So dear panel members, please to share your thoughts to how can the graduates can stay at home with positive attitude about themselves, especially. Amena Kakuli. Hi, Masood Shadat. Actually, thank you, Amena. Masood Bhai is coming. Alamin, great work. Tanjina, Masood, great job. Julfikar, nice said. And so many other friends are joining, already joined. So friends, please, those who are with us, share it right now with your more friends, right? So that they can join us and view us and also put comments us. So Professor Shadat is on now. Just coming back to you again, sir. My ideology to share you why we chose this topic today. During pandemic situation, parents are in tough situation, corporates, professionals are in tough job. Professor Shadat, could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you time, extension time for you. And already I was just giving proxy, okay? Just carry on. Your time is on now.
Okay, so I'm sorry for the interruption. So what I was talking about, that this pandemic is a situation, is a new to us. We are not prepared for it, and believe me, this will change the whole shaping of education, right? So if you think that we have started online classes from the very beginning of March, and you also understand that teaching mathematics online or teaching physics classes online are not easy, because but instructional courses also need a lot of hands-off activities and hands-on activities. So we have to prepare strategies how our faculty can teach well, and we have to define different methods and tools to adapt them. In the same time, we realize that our faculty members are in mental stress. In the same time, our students went to their home, they're in remote accesses, they have less bandwidth in internet. So we have to prepare our course material, prepare our designing of courses in accordance to their need, and so they can easily access. So I think this was really a hard time, but we were able to cope up with this. And every change is painful. So this change was painful. Still, we are trying to adapt with all these changes, and we believe that this COVID-19 has given us a great lesson how to adapt with the nature and how to adapt with different changes of society and environment. That was my personal learning from this COVID situation and COVID time. Thank you.
Very good, sir. Very good. Just before coming to deepen that session today, let me share my views with audience and also with you actually why I founded that platform. My motto was, as we are obstructed, stuck at home, we have to somehow utilize our time to keep fit and healthy, though it's very tough, because parents are the parents of the children. Parents are the parents of the graduates. Parents are not well this time. It's very tough for the parents to keep graduates, current students, and school or college goer students mentally healthy and sound this time, because none is happy and healthy. That's why we just keep focus on today. Topic is academic frustration and mental wellness or well-being, or mental, not health, because health is a big issue. This is a social issue even. That's why we just make it narrow down. So graduates, but my request is please don't put your mind only on the graduates, because our kids at home, they are most vulnerable, underprivileged nowadays, because they have open mind to fly in the sky like that situation. They are uncontrolled nowadays. School goers, college goers, they're getting some support partially on online education, but not all the students. We are talking on total scenario of this country. So it's a matter of question how to keep them mentally healthy and sound during this COVID, because Jack Ma, a few days back, I just love to share, you might see the comments Jack Ma told, this COVID-19, I mean 2020, this year, business year, if you are the businessman, just think your profit will be if you are alive, if you keep alive yourself during this 2020. It's true. There is no other profits. If you can alive, this is your profit of the business for whole life. So my question, actually this is not a question answer session, this is an open discussion forum. Professor J. Ali, academic frustration and mental wellness. Please don't stagnate your mind only on the graduates, because there are so many questions coming from the parents' view, from the students' view, from school levels view. So how we can keep student sound during this situation? We will later on discuss about employment and other things for especially for the graduates. But how we can keep soundness during this COVID time? Your time is 5 minutes, Jali, and I might interrupt you for adding some questions.
No problem. Professor
Thank
Habib,
you.
actually, as they are the students, of course, they have the long-term planning of life. They have the long-term planning, and COVID is started last 2 or 3 months, and it will be terminated or ending very soon, I think so, and you also think so. And if it doesn't end, what will be the circumstances? But my point is that a student has a particular planning in his life. In during the COVID, he must not divert from his planning at all. He must be strict on his planning. If he has a particular goal in his life, he will be strict on that particular goal actually. What is his goal? What is his vision in life? Accordingly, he will make a to-do list in daily basis. In during the COVID time, he has no university class at all, school or college class at all. This time, he will involve him in a busy terms and condition, in a busy situation. He will make him busiest one. When a person, I mean a student becomes so busy in his work, I mean positive work, he must not be frustrated at all. I just recall you one historical parts or historical sayings of a great man, Winston Churchill. He was a prime minister of UK in the year 1940 to 1945. That time the Second World War were going that time, and that time he used to work 18 hours per day, and he has a
Yeah.
great load on him for the war, Second World War. Once some of his fellow or assistant asked him, "Sir, do you feel any tension, any burden for this war that will determine the fate of the world?" The
Yeah.
Winston Churchill replied, "As I am so busy with my current job, I don't have time to be tension at all." So my point is, my students, my fellow, just you think your future. You look after you see your future target. What is your target? What is your goal actually? If you have a particular goal, you just encircle your family member within your goal. So you just work on it. You make a particular schedule for it, and you make a to list every day for this. Before night, I mean, at night you will plan what will you do tomorrow. When you will busy on your job, on your work, no frustration will come to you. You can collect some books online. You can read those books. You can you can attend training workshop online. You can do so many courses globally. Professor Habib, there are so many courses
Yeah, so
offering
many
now
courses are
globally.
here, right?
Yes, so they can make busy. They can, if they become busy, they must not be frustrated at all. If you think we are patient, of course we visit to doctor. Doctor give us prescription. How will you pass our life, isn't it? So
Yeah.
being a student at home, they have some prescription. They have some entitled prescription from holy books. They have some prescription from their guardians. They are learned teachers, so they must avoid by the prescriptions given by the holy books, given by the wise men, given by the teachers, mentors like you, like Mehta, like Professor Monir. Of course, online communications is open now. So I just suggest my dear students, you people just make your planning, make your goal first. Without having any goal, you are a ship without rudder. So as you have no goal, you have no target in your life, so many frustrations, lots of problems raise in your heads, and you must not break those frustration. You must be fallen down in the deep sea, and that will be problem for you. So please make a goal. Just if you allow me, Dr. Habib, I just
Yes.
want to recall you an example of goal setting, how much it is important for students.
Okay.
There were a research for the students of Harvard Business School in the year 79 to 89. 10 years. 10 years a research had conducted in Harvard Business School on 100 students regarding their goals. In that research, the researcher found that only three student has their goal written and concrete. 13 student 13 students have goal, but that's not written. Mentally, yes, I have a goal in life. But 84 students, actually they had no goal. They thought that we are the students of Harvard Business School. We need not to have a particular planning or goal. So we will be the best one CEO in the world, as we are taking lesson from the Harvard Business School. But mind it, after 10
Right.
years, when that researcher visit the 100 students after passing the graduation, when he meets the 13 student, he surprisingly found that 13 students are earning double of 84 students per month. Try to understand. Again, the researcher visit to the three students who had their concrete goal written, and they work accordingly. Every day they stick on their goal, on their principle. Surprisingly, the researcher found that three students are earning 2 times more than the 97 students. Those had no goal concrete in their student life. So that is my suggestion to my students. Please make your goal, and that will be long term, and it you must segment it accordingly. Day by day, you make to list and work accordingly. If you fail to achieve your day-to-day activities, you just phone us, you just phone Mr. Habib, you just phone your teacher. They will must link you between your study and your goal also. So be careful in your goal. That is the first issue, and become busy in your job. Don't get frustrated at all, because a nice future is waiting for you. A greater future is waiting for you. You just see, think, and feel fast. Actually, can I recall any other researcher outcomes, Mr. Habib?
Yes, last minute
Yes.
for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, George Barnard, he was the Red Indian researcher. In his research, he found that most of the Red Indian, they become frustrated for their wrong fantasy, not the real or practical happenings of their life. Try to understand. Most of
Yeah.
the Indians become frustrated only for their wrong fantasy, not the real life
Yeah.
happening. So in our society nowadays, most of the young graduates, young fellow, they become frustrated for long future outcomes, not day-to-day activities or learnings. Please be act accordingly, stick in your own learnings day by day, and everything will be disappear. Every frustration will be disappear from your life, inshallah. Thank you, Mr. Habib.
Very good discussion, Professor J. Ali. Just let me add two specific quotation that might help us really to all before coming to Professor Moniruzzaman. One quotation from John F. Kennedy, that is, when written the term crisis in Chinese, it represents two meaning. One is danger, another is opportunity, right? So the crisis pandemic, COVID-19, definitely the veteran John F. Kennedy wrote that every crisis has two coincidence to coincide, like opportunity and danger, that we have to try to understand our boys and girls, young champs and young generations, youngsters in our society. Another quotation, actually, Dave Pelzer said, there is good something come out after every crisis. After all kinds of hazards, crisis, problems, sophistication or tough situation or darkness, in opposite there is light. But problem is, we every people don't love to stay for that enlightened situation. We just gets frustrated during the darkness for temporary reason. So dear viewers, let's come to Professor Moniruzzaman, but already there are a few questions, more questions here. Let me just have a review and then coming back to Professor Moniruzzaman. Actually, one greeting is we are watching from our heart. Very good, awesome togetherness with some professionally appropriate individuals. Hoping for a great session. Thanks to my dear host Habib sir. Saida, Annie, how will we motivate them who are ready for new jobs? This situation. Sabon Ostru greeted us and salam. Walaikum salam. Great job, Anna Kakuli Shakirova. The special concern is for the final students who are waiting for the exams to qualify for their degree and proceed for employment. Actually, Dr. Shakti Prova mentioned students, those who are very close to the end of their graduation, just going to be graduated and waiting for employment after their time. And there are a few Habibullah Bahar, good wishes for all, good initiatives. Sabuni Ostru, yes, sir. Raihan Anjum Tanha, Walaikum Assalam Tanha. And the question is, I personally expect to have a brief summary after this great session is ended off. Dear Habib sir, would you please make a brief note based on that you're sharing a comprehensive thought from your great minds? Thank you, of course. And there are a few more. I'm coming back. So, Professor Moniruzzaman, during this time, just my question is, at your home, being a father, being a teacher, you have dual role here. As the mentor of the community people, you are mentoring, taking classes online to your students just to get them read from that COVID situation and pass their degree, getting certificate, and also complete their graduation. Just rather talk later on regarding their employment, but how, as a father, you are caring your child at home, those who are supposed to play, supposed to enjoy their time, but you are making them, I mean, in tough and not puzzle. I don't say puzzle. Actually, busy with their online classes too. Those who are schooling just now. So, how, as a parents, could you please share some views with the audience and a child taker at home?
Okay, thank you, Professor Habib. That's a very good and important aspect of this lockdown time. Parenting itself is really very difficult thing. Uh, Dealing with children is also difficult, and especially in this time when, I mean, all the normal aspects of our daily schedule have been shut down, you can say. So our normal, I mean, before this pandemic, what happened that every day. So if I say that personally, my schedule has been also disrupted. How before this pandemic, I had a very strict schedule that I used to maintain, especially for my health and for my work. That I used to go to bed by 10. I used to get up just early in the morning for my morning prayer, and then my first job was to get my sons prepared for school, and then drop them at a school, and then have a walk for 1 hour. Okay. After that, I used to come back and then got ready for my office. So that was the schedule. Now, since they don't have the school, especially on campus school, and I don't have also on campus duty. So the thing is that now most of the days, I can say, in last 2.5 months maybe, very rarely I went to bed by even not 11 or 12. So the kids are also, they are also keeping awakened most of the time. So sometimes even at this time now their classes are over. So when they had classes, they were busy with their classes, and they had the homeworks given from school online. So they used to prepare homework, and I used to help them with this. I used to help them with the devices for online classes. So that was one kind of busy time. Now, so classes are over, homeworks are over. Now, actually, they have nothing to do. So what are they doing? And which is to some extent very harmful for kids, but they are playing with the devices. They're playing games, they're watching TV, and sometimes they're also practicing music and drawings, painting. So it's a very tough time for the parents, I believe. Kids actually, it is very difficult for them to stay at home, being confined within home, because they want to mix with their friends, they want to go out, but you cannot take them out. So as parents, what we need to do is that we have to find out some alternative things to keep them busy with. For example, my elder son, who is student of class 5, is about 12 years old, and the younger one is student of class 2, is 8. So the elder one, he has learned music systematically. So sometimes I ask him to play play the harmonium, and then also practice music. But sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't do that. Even I myself, I used to play guitar, but nowadays I think I've forgotten last time when I played my guitar. So the things are not going on well, but still some of the things are positive here. The thing is that that can be, also a kind of advice to all the parents. When we are busy with our office and kids are busy with their studies, we have very little time for each other in the family. So because of this COVID-19, now we are together. So we can spare more time for each other. Now we can focus on some of the things, especially if I say from my very childhood, I have been brought up like this, that I have always taken my own responsibility of washing my dish, washing my own clothes. Still I do. Still I wash my own clothes. Still I wash my own dish, and I also wash dish at home. I also clean washroom now. I don't have any helping hand. So we are doing all the household works. So the parents should obviously get their children involved in household chores. Sometimes it may be not very big work, but we have to make them habituated to that, so that they take their own responsibility. And the children who take their own responsibility at childhood, they obviously later on also become more responsible persons when they grow up. They become more responsible for the family and the relatives. They become more responsible for the community as well. So this is a time to teach our children this moral values as well, and the social norms as well. So obviously the time is difficult, but we have to think about this alternative as well. Now, since you asked me questions related to my kids and family, but can I shift a little bit to students as well?
Yeah, of course. Carry on.
Actually, I'd like to add a little bit.
Another 2 minutes, sir. Just 2 minutes.
Okay,
Another
fine.
2 minutes.
So I'd like to add a little bit with whatever Professor Ali said. Very nicely said. So about the goals of the students in their life. So regarding this, or at the same time, he said that they have to keep busy. Okay. So when I first started online classes, I found that some of my students, I taught them Gulliver's Travels. So I told them that read the text at home, then we will have discussion. So when they had the first online class with us, after a long gap, I asked, did you read the text? Nobody did. And one of them said that, sir, actually we are very frustrated. We don't know whether we will survive tomorrow or not. That's why we could not feel like that. Okay, that's true to some extent, because it's a kind of shock and people get mentally upset, no doubt. But at the same time, I would talk to my students of all the universities as well. That is, whatever I say always in my class, that is, life is actually every moment. Life is not that is you will live a lifespan for 60 years or 70 or 80 years or 50 years. It's not that. Not only this COVID-19, I mean, anytime we know that we can die anytime by accident, by any other disease, by heart attack, anytime we may die. So we have to accept this reality. If you understand this reality, that anytime we can die. So you must remember, I mean, those who have read the Iliad by Homer, in Iliad, Achilles said to Briseis that our gods envy us because we are mortal. This life is so beautiful because we are mortal. We have to be doomed. You are never more beautiful than this moment, because this moment is not coming back again in life. So I'm not quoting exactly, so I'm just paraphrasing. So life is such. So I'd like to request all the students to think positively about life. And I told my student that, okay, you know that, okay, you may die anytime. I know I may die anytime. But we are not stopping taking food. We are not stopping taking a shower. We are not stopping many other things in our life. So why should we stop study? So if you have a plan in your life, obviously stick to your plan. And at the same time, this is an opportunity. So nowadays, at this in this 21st century, we don't need to actually learn a lot from our teachers and from our schools. So our students must learn how to take their own responsibility. Sometimes I tell my students that if you want to claim that you are an educated person, then I say that take a scale and weigh the books you have read and the things you have learned from your syllabus and the things you have learned beyond your syllabus. If the side of the scale with the books and your learning from life, if it weighs more than your syllabus based learning, curriculum based learning, then you are an educated person. So this is the time. You have lots of online resources. So I'd like to tell my students that spend less time with the social media and spend more time with the fruitful online resources. So you have lots of things. You can learn so many things. So many things are there. So learn those things. Even
all right. Thanks a lot, Professor Moniruzzaman. Let me come to Professor Shahadat, but before coming to Professor Shahadat, there are a few more comments. Let me just read out a few comments. Nizhum Mem Chakma, hello sir, Fariduzzaman, Iko Hoche. I must convey my regards to my honorable speaker. When one speaker is talking, other please keep your microphone mute. That would be nice and easy accessible to or able to some other. Mehran Laboni, nice to meet you, sir. Meghna Uddin. Meghna, so far she is from UK. Great that mental health and well-being is being spoken about, as still many cannot openly discuss issues or like to. It's important to speak more and do more about children, young people, and adult mental health. Let's come in. Actually, Meghnauddin, we will go on that topic a little bit, but tomorrow, for your concern, just tomorrow at noon, 2:30, 14:30 Bangladesh time, this is GMT +6, there is another session on mental health issues and war against COVID-19. 3 more professors coming, but I would request on behalf of you, these 3 professors, just look into the matter a little bit today. And another questions, comments is here from Sujan Banerjee. Actually, there are so many questions coming. So Sujan Banerjee wrote, this topic is for all students. Many students don't have smartphones and strong network connections, so a large portion of students are losing their confidence. The concept of digital class is dividing and discriminating our students. How to respond to this issue? Very, very vital and significant question, Mr. Sujan Banerjee. Thanks a lot. I will come to Professor Shahadat with this question, and before him, there is a few more questions. BM Shajjad Hussain, children-parents relationship is very important. You were 100%, actually, he mentioned Professor Munirujjaman. Meghnauddin also wrote here, it's important to build good, trusting relationship with young people and children, be it parents or significant adults that are in their lives. And Alamin also wrote, this time is very a problem for children. They don't go outside. Mental health is a big issue. But let's come to Professor Shahadat Hussain with also my question is, you are teaching at North South University. This is, of course, this is a world-ranked university in Bangladesh. Students before COVID situation were connected like few other universities in Bangladesh in online-based education. They are well equipped with digitalization and online equipments. But today's matter is, for the global world, in particular Bangladesh, all students, in graduates and graduating students, they are, most of the cases, out of internet connections, smartphones, smart mobiles, available electricity even, government is trying so, but how could you explain, and should we match with that quotation of that I mentioned before? At least we should wait and try to face this COVID, then good days come again. We should advise them to keep good faith and good heart during this COVID situation. As generalization suggestion, I personally, and with my viewers, request you to share us, sir, please. Carry on. Time is 5 minutes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Habib. You always ask me the critical questions. Thank you. Anyway, so I want to start from Sujan Banerjee. The question from Sujan Banerjee, right? Sujan Banerjee. I think, thank you, Sujan, for raising up the nice questions. Raising up the nice questions. Yeah, we understand. We take in hand that many of our students do not have internet access. I mean, internet access, right? A common perception about NSU is that all siblings of children from all billionaires studied in North South University. This is not true. First of all, we have almost 25% students who come from remote villages, who have their tuition fees coming from their own tuition, right? So they have to survive really hard during this pandemic situations, right? Because all the tuitions are closed. They have gone to the villages, and now they're living in the home. And for internet, they cannot go to the shop because of this lockdown, and they have the internet connection is very low. So now the question is how we are adapting with this situation. First of all, we have to consider that that is a special situation. Not all moment in life is special. Not every moment of life is critical. So we have to live. I am alive still after 2.5 months. This is the blessing of Almighty. I have to accept this first, right? So I am not suffering from COVID. I have to accept this first. And next, if you miss one semester, suppose you have missed maybe 8 classes, 10 classes. If you consider the whole semester spring 2020, normally we take 24 classes. Our student miss maybe 7 to 8 classes. So if you consider this 7 to 8 classes, this is 1/3 of the whole physical semester of spring 2020. Now you see the whole graduate level. If it is 4 years graduating, that means it is exactly how many semester they have? 12 semester. So 12 into 4 is 12 into 1/3 is exactly saying they are missing 1 of 36 part, and this is very less. And obviously our student doesn't disagree that through these online classes they are not learning anything. Remember that learning and teaching is a holistic process. This doesn't mean only that
Right,
you
right,
have
right.
to come to classes, you have to take notes, you have to write some answer. You know, the education has three major domain. This is cognitive domain and affective domain and psychomotor domain. The affective domain that relate your heart to heart, that relate your attitude, that is most important. And during this COVID, I think student has developed a lot of improvement in this attitude. They're in the family, they are in the society. Students are helping the community from their own pocket. Students saving their money, students saving their what their tiffin money, and saving the whole society. I have seen this. That is the main learning of a life. You know, a 4 year graduate will never make you a rich person. A 4 year graduate will never make you a very standard or very well-known person in the society. This is a part of your life, and there are many other aspects, many other domain you have to learn. And people learn from experience. This is the most important thing. People learn from experience. After 20 years, when those students will go to real life, they will succeed in life. I guarantee you, they will never remember the 8 classes they are missing during this COVID. They have huge impact over the whole scenario of life. They have to see the whole domain of the life, not only these 8 classes. Now the question is how we are adapting our students. Remember that many of our students do not have high access of internet. So first of all, we have to find a strategy. First strategy is we tell all the teachers communicate with their students, keep them in touch before online classes. We have given them instruction that keep in touch. Try to start the class maybe 1 or 2 weeks before you go to the real class. Try to understand their situation. Try to learn from their family. Try to learn from their real life. You'll be happy, or you'll be astonished that my student, she is in Bagherhat, and she was taking the online class from a garden. Because if she stay at the home, she don't have internet connection. She goes outside of her house and take the classes. And now tell me how I can motivate her. Is it possible to go with most crucial math classes with her? No, this is not absolutely possible. We can take many nice words, Habib, Dr. Habib, but reality is something different. When you go to online classes, students have a lot of problems. We have to adapt. My students, his father is a COVID victim. He's suffering from COVID disease. And now tell me how will he take the classes? So the first thing that I tell my teachers, that keep touches with the student. Don't teach some particular student. Normally when are in physical classes, we have some target students who are best student in the class. But I tell them, don't be categorized now. Take care of every student. Try to solve their problem. Try to see empathy. Don't show sympathy to them. Our students are enough smart. They know what you are feeling to him. They know what you are guiding to him. So don't show sympathy of them. So they will take it in another way. So show them empathy. Inherit their problem in you. Try to feel their problem in you. Another problem is they need money for the registration of the next semester, for the advising of the next
True,
semester.
true. It's
Many
true.
many family are not in that situation now. So we are telling our university to open a gate so that students have enough feasibility and facility to enroll in the second semester. We talk to teacher, be flexible to student. Don't be rushed to the deadline. Don't be rushed to deadline of assignment. Don't be rushed to deadline of exams. Don't be rushed to give them presentation or something else. Give them enough time. Remember that When you become a teacher of North-South University, you were first class first, first class second, or first class third in a class. But all of you all of your students, all of your friend in this class was first class first, second, or third like you? No. So when you are in the class, don't think all of the students are in your standard or in your level. They will be first class first or first class second. So try to minimize the level, try to find an average of level for those students so they can feel that you inherit their problem. Love is the best scenario that can add up in that time. You know, ruling and teaching cannot work in online teaching, especially in our country. And then we tell them, prepare your course material so that student can access. I quote one word. I took to my higher authority that my student is living in a village. She or he doesn't have a smartphone as smart like me.
Yeah.
Right? We have to adapt this situation. We have to understand this problem. So make your course material so mobile that student can access it through their mobile phone. Make your course material so easy that they can access it through their mobile phone. You don't need to teach everything. Normally when you go physical classes, we teach many things. But in the online classes, you don't need to think, you don't need to teach everything. You don't need to go for every theorem. They will learn it. You engage them in learning, make their life busy, as Dr. Ali said in his talk, right? Very informative talk. So make their life engaged, prioritize their learning, right? And make the material of learning free of cost. Because sometimes it's hard to pay for them from villages. Even they have money, they cannot pay with credit card or some other tools, right? So we tell them, tell stories to students. It is the most important time. You have to share your feeling to the students, right? So they can feel that you are like his father, you are like his mother, like her mother. It is very important to realize. So we tell the teachers,
Very
tell
good. Very
stories
good
to students,
discussion.
share your feeling to the stories, and in the same time give opportunities to students to tell them their stories to you. Hear from them what they want to tell you. Try to value their opinion. And also we talk to teachers that, okay, prepare yourself, control your emotion. That is one of the important thing I would like to share, Dr. Habib.
Yeah,
Important thing is
sure.
that in
Sure.
online classes, it is a passive learning. You understand? It's not direct learning. In the passive learning, students take the responsibility of their own learning. So there will be lots of questions in the online classes. And there are interruption of internet, interruption of devices, interruption of electricity, many other problems. We have to cope up this. So students have teacher has to be open to the students. Teacher has to clear all the problems to the students and clear everything that there can be problem from teacher side, there can be problem from student side. In the same time, teacher has to tell this student that he is not an expert in online teaching. This is new. So teacher has to free to all students that he or she might have problem in delivering lectures online, and please give feedback. Teacher has to be open-minded to accept all this feedback in a positive way, and he has or she has to correct it. In the same time, teacher should not be very rush that this is my course material, I have to complete it today. No, please don't do this thing. This will make proper this will make in insufficient pressure to the students on the student. And we have told teacher, please control your voice. This is very important. Be passionate, take patience, make your voice low to student, control your emotion as much as possible, because student will learn and they are paying for it, right? And in the same time, please tell them the truth that this is the situation we have here. We use their emphasis over their strength, emphasize over the hope that in some day we will see the light. And also tell them the truth that this pandemic is not going to solve in 1 or 2 days, and there will be no one from heaven will come to earth that will solve our problem. We have to adapt with this, we have to run with everything, and that will make a better future in the coming days. Sabi. That's everything from my side.
Very
I think I
good.
covered my
Well
time.
said. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Cover time and so many things you have already covered. Dr. Shakti Prabha actually wrote here, well said, Professor Shadad. I'm coming back to Dr. DMP. Just as you are a psychologist, you are teacher, you are mother, right? So many designations are entitled with you. So this time, summarizing so many questions from here, I'm just coming to you. But before that, just let me read out some comments from the followers and friends here. Snigdha Rahman, Assalamu alaikum, a great symbol of real social work, this situation. Well done, go ahead. Hassanur Rahman Akash, sir, we always stay with you. Romana Sharmin Barsha, dear Julfik Bhaiya, your magnificent words are very helpful for students to keep motivated during this pandemic COVID. Thank you, Sharmin. Mansur Ali, he is lecturer of an university. Mansur wrote, most of the students are taking the online class as a source of recreation. They are not used to do this type of class. What kind of guidance should we provide them in this situation? It's partially true, I think, because this is a matter of culture even. We are cultured throughout the journey over the years and years in non-technology sometime. If I truly share you, like this COVID situation gave us many things, though it just take away some lives from us, happiness from us for the months, but it gives us so many things. Lastly, I will ask you some regarding the positive side of COVID-19. And Meghna Uddin wrote a fantastic quotes here. Unfortunate. Really, so many comments and questions are coming. Unfortunate that those students that do not have access are losing out because of internet resources and mobile devices in Bangladesh, and the same can be said for those less fortunate around the globe. But as all guests have highlighted that in these unprecedented times, they are learning life skills and survival skills. Dr. Shahad is right, holistic approach. Very good, Meghna, thank you. And adaptive to change is significant for, adaptation is a vital question matter here. Shakti wrote, well said, Professor Dr. Shahadat Hussain. Rajesh Khan, Guruttapurna Alochana, saying, nice conversation. Mansur Ali, thank you. Dr. Shahadat Hussain, S.I. Shakir, Sharkar, I'm also a teacher. Really, I enjoying this conversation. I believe this space, both of you are really supportive for me and my beloved students to do and don't do during this pandemic situation, especially thanks to my Guru, Julfikar Ali. Guru, thanks, Julfik. Professor Julfikar Ali is it's a very beloved teacher to all of his students, and truly said, Amena Kakule, thank you, Dr. Shahadat Hussain. Snigdha Rahman, very passionate presentation, excellent. Congratulations to Dr. Shahadat. Rajesh Khan, excellent presentation. Let's come to Dr. DMP. Actually, you are a psychiatrist, you are a professor of psychology, you are a mother, you are a very good teacher, you are currently taking class in online. Punctually, you are taking class from Indian view, actually from Indian view, this kind of third eye view might be for my students, but as a social worker, you know, my passion is to connect mental wellness with triangular shape, that is teachers, students, and parents. Students, he or she might be a graduating students, might be a graduate, might be schoolgoers or kids, right? Any kinds of student might be or waiting for jobs. And the parents, sometimes parents are the same in that particular case, and teachers for current students, they are playing a very vital role that already Professor Shahadat mentioned partially, though time was very limited for Shahadat, and Dr. Shahadat elaborately discussed nicely, really. So, Dr. Dimpi, my question is, this is a summary for you especially. Your time is 7 minutes. Triangular shape. Just to keep graduates, just to keep children and current students, how we can suggest parents and teachers to be welcoming to that all level, because just let me finish. Graduating students, they are in panic situation. They are idle, passing their time at home. Sometimes parents get disturbed. Kids, they are again and again coming to parents that I'm facing here, and my colleagues and my other friends facing that situation. With the parents sometimes losing temper, right, to the kids. and the students already graduate, they are waiting for job. That Dr. Shakti asked that question, how can we console them? These three particular area, kids, current students, and graduates. So how you can match this and actually make me happy and our colleagues and friends, giving a mental healing process, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Rahman. In fact, I completely agree with what Dr. Sadat had said a little while back. I would first of all like to give a brief overview about the, impact of, online education on the students, and then I would go to the management part. And as you have mentioned about academic frustration, here, the dictionary definition of academic frustration is the quality or state of being frustrated or thoroughly upset by one or multiple things, either directly or indirectly related to school, classes, homework, or other academic aspects. So now one of the major impact of lockdown and social distancing, which is happening due to present circumstances, is heightened level of stress. So as a psychology faculty and as well as a counselor, what I tell when my students actually, contact me or talk to me for, counseling, the first thing I tell them is that it is okay to not feel okay. As our previous speaker had also said, you need to first of all accept this reality, accept the situation. That's when the healing comes. First of all, you have to tell the student that it is okay to not feel okay. The second thing that I tell them is that you are not alone. Everybody around the world is facing this particular, situation, and they are also going through the same kind of, emotions, probably, varying in intensity. And the third thing I tell them, as you also put it a little while back, is that we all will together fight it out, and this too shall pass. These are the three things which I always tell the students whenever, they call me up for counseling. And because of the corona pandemic, yes, mental health, as we all know, it is the overall psychological, emotional, and social well-being of an individual. Definitely, it has been, affected very badly. Students are experiencing various problems, whether you talk about depression, you talk about anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, mood disorder, because of varied reasons. Now, concerns of student community as far as India is concerned, I would just like to briefly mention very quickly. The first is examination. How the online examination will happen and how is it going to be conducted. Definitely, we actually conducted recently. And the syllabus incompletion. Many a times students are worried about the syllabus incompletion. That again is causing a lot of stress amongst the students. The third, as little while back, Mr. Banerjee also had said, is the digital classes. The digital classes, for students from lower socioeconomic status, or the underprivileged sections of the society. If you talk about India, only 24% of the population has internet access. Digital classes need internet access and also continuous supply of, power. So India has nearly 1,000 universities, okay, and 50,000 colleges and almost 37 million students. So the institutes with better technology, yes, they are going ahead with their digital classes in full swing. But then think about a student from a remote area, whether you talk about a remote place in a village in Tripura, or for that matter in my state in Assam. So and now it is in fact even worse. My student had sent me photographs of his house, being completely flooded because of the flood situation that is prevailing. So here in this time, that's what I agree with what Dr. Sadat had said. We as faculty members, we as mentors need to be compassionate towards our students. An assessment of online education is again a big issue. PG accommodation in private hostel students, because of travel bans, many of them are experiencing stress, how to go back to their near and dear ones. Social isolation. This is again one of the major stressors, let me tell you, before I go to the management part quickly. Whenever a student goes to a graduation, goes to a college, he does not just go for earning a degree or a piece of paper. He goes for socializing. Right. His entire grooming happens for next phase of life, that is going for job opportunities and all. He interacts with friends in canteens, he meets them in playground, and entire socialization process happens over there, and that is completely thwarted because of online education. Students are concerned about laboratory classes. Now, if you talk about life sciences, if you talk about chemistry, for example, graduate, he or she cannot do chemical, analysis in a Zoom class or for that matter, WebEx. So these are the major challenges which our students are facing, because of which it is leading to academic frustration to a great extent. And I would say that, in fact, you have also read my blog the other day on Facebook. Then you have liked also, Professor Rahman. I wrote about online education and the student community, how it is affecting the students.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah. So, in fact, in the long run, presently we have no other option. But in the long run, we need to have a blended model. We need both online education and offline education to come together. And how we do that, that is somewhere the challenge lies. In fact, just after writing that blog, just today when I switched on the television set, I got to hear that the Assam education minister had decided to come up with, opening up the schools and colleges, especially for class 10th and 12th, and go for phase wise, he's planning to go for, phase wise teaching, like, for example, we have to maintain social distancing protocols, but then class strength has to be reduced, but then still the process has to keep going. Now, coming to the management part. Now, this is the most important part as a psychologist. So here I would say that because of this stress, it has affected our students at 3 levels. Psychological level, it has affected them at the physiological level and the behavioral level. Psychological, many of them are experiencing frustrations. They are unable to concentrate. There are problems related to anxiety, depression, etc. Physiological, high BP, lot of problems as far as body physiology is concerned, and behavioral consequences. Substance abuse is getting very common, and interpersonal relationships are distorted. Now, interventions can happen, according to me, in 2 situations. First is individual level intervention, and second is, according to me, is the institutional level intervention. When I talk about individual level intervention, it can happen in 3 phases. The first, according to me, is the cognitive intervention strategies. The second is behavioral intervention strategies. And the third, according to me, is physiological intervention strategies. Now, when I talk about cognitive intervention strategies, here my main focus is going to be on developing stress-resistant cognitive pattern. As you, a little while back, you also spoke in a different way about, seeing the glass whether half full or half empty. This is what we call as cognitive restructuring in psychology, where you try to modify your thought process and try to look at the brighter side of life in such a way that it will help you in coping up with this present situation. That is one way I think the students can practice in their day-to-day life, being mindful of of whatever they are doing, of the present situation, not thinking too far. What will happen after 5 months? What will happen after 6 months? Try to live at the present moment. Try to live it mindfully. Try to practice mindfulness. Try to engage in positive thinking. This is how it will help you in coping up better. This is one thing that I wanted to say. Second is having an attitude of gratitude. Think about the blessings in your life. And in fact, I practice gratitude therapy, and I have done quite a few research work. And it has proven that practicing gratitude therapy, or maintaining an attitude of gratitude, will help you in a long run in having a better psychological health. And immune system also will be benefited, or will be better if you have a positive attitude in life. This is very important. Second, according to me, is behavioral intervention strategy. Now, my previous speakers also had talked about it at the same point, but mainly here I would again say about designing a schedule for yourself, structuring your life. As a previous speaker also mentioned about having a to-do list. Every night, prepare a to-do list, make your priorities correctly, and then every day, try to keep ticking on the point that you have covered. Maybe you were able to complete a chapter. When you do that, at the end of the day, you will feel motivated that yes, the day had been productive for you. Besides that, time management is, again, I feel, is very important. Restrict the intake of negative news. Try to limit the viewing of negative information. At least once a day is enough, I feel. Engage in hobbies. Try to hone your existing skills. Quite often on Facebook, I see my friends, their videos coming up, I never knew that they were singers or dancers. So, it's a good opportunity for you to hone up your existing skills also. And me time, now that you can't go outside, it is better to introspect and look within. And that is also going to help you rewind, reflect, and, refresh yourself. And learning new skills is another way out. Today only I had completed one skill enhancement course on CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. So you also can actually make use of this time and engage in very many courses which are available online. Whether you can go for Coursera, you can go for edX. There are so many professors who are giving free of cost online courses, so you can actually go and take advantage of that. And this is the time to enjoy quality time with your family members. I would say this is the time to bond with them. Always we used to crib that we don't have time, but now this is the time that we are getting an opportunity to bond with our children, to bond with our elders, to bond with our mom, dad. So I think I would strongly suggest you to try to better your communication with your family members and interact more. And staying connected is again very important for you all. Dear students, especially, I would like to request you to stay connected with your mentors, stay connected with friends, with whom you gel well. And because this is physical distance, this is not social or emotional distance. So this is going to help you in the long run, in coping up better. And maintain a balanced diet that will help you. For the parents especially, I would say that try to be compassionate with your children. This is a scenario where how children are, they're full of energy. So these children, they are also trying to cope up, young children especially. So now we see in India also, cases of violence is rising, the cases of child abuse is rising. So I think that as parents, it is very important for you all to engage your children and productively, and make them follow a routine and be very compassionate with them. Don't try to force them for anything, and that is going to help. And at the physiological intervention level, I would request you to kindly kindly take up activities like deep breathing. That will help you. Abdominal breathing is always better than thoracic breathing, as they say. When you go for it, there is a scientific base to it, because when you go for abdominal breathing, it is somewhat related to reticular activating system in the brain, which is again responsible for the neuromuscular activities. So deep breathing will help in relaxing the entire body. Second is yoga and meditation will again help you in being mindful and living in the present moment. And aerobic exercises, there's so many online videos. You can actually enroll yourself in any kind of online aerobic exercises, dance classes, or whatever for that matter. So that is going to help you. And overall, I think if you can focus on these three levels, as I mentioned, cognitive, second was behavioral, and the third was the physiological level, this will definitely 100% help you in coping up better with this present situation. And for the institutions, I would just say that in the long run, we have to see the possibility and the feasibility of making classes, having offline classes also, because we cannot go on and on with the online mode, though many scholars actually are saying that 100% online can continue. But personally, as a faculty member also, I feel that online education alone will not work in the long run. We need a blended system. And that's where I feel that we need to work together, think on those lines, how to make the class strength less, how to maintain social distancing, how to operate the lab classes. So many challenges are before us, but then I'm very optimistic that together we will, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and we will overcome the situation. Thank you, Professor Habib.
Thank you. Very wonderful discussion. Still, there are so many questions, and already many followers' questions already resolved by the discussion of all of you. Let me come back to Professor J. Ali, and before coming to him, I'd love to share some views from the audience. Mansur Ali wrote, most of the students are suffering from mood disorder. I would like to tell you, give some suggestion on it, Dr. D.M.P. Mahata. Actually, you already done it.
Yeah.
Mr. Waris told, this sad time has been termed as new normal. It's our utmost responsibility to adapt ourselves with this COVID-19 affected situations and the changes what COVID has already brought in us. Since we people cannot change everything as we expect or hope, here we definitely can master over our existing psychology and mental states as well as can control our condensed motion in a logical frame to have a better feeling inside us. Very good comment. Actually, he's aligned with your discussion and Professor Shadat's discussion. He also wrote well explained and informed presentation by Dr. Dimpi Mahata. Jahangir Alam Shumon. This is actually, I'm coming to Professor Julfik. Julfik, are you here on the set? Could you hear me, Professor J. Ali? Okay. Mr. Jahangir Alam Shumon wrote, what is your suggestions for students studying abroad? Actually, he would love to share and explain in a short sense in different countries students studying, but most of the cases they are earning and learning. They are losing their job, right? They now they need to take money from home, which is very difficult and tough. So you must put input on that part. And Mansur Ali told, thank you, Dr. Dimpi Mehta, for excellent discussion on human behavior in this situation. It was indeed for need for us. Mansur wrote, Habib sir, at last you can say that we can fix it on no frustration. That's good. Shakti Prabha wrote, excellent presentation. Dr. Dimpi Mehta, it's very important to reach its and every students in this COVID situation. And before coming to Professor J. Ali, I would love to make you recall one quotation from Theodore Roosevelt. We know his name very much. He just quoted, believe you can and you are halfway ahead or there. Or believe is a matter. If you can keep believe on yourself, you can really go on up the way. But my questions with keeping alignment with few of our followers and friends, Professor J. Ali, problems, I mean the causes of frustration. Actually, there are so many questions coming, but let me later on come to Professor Shadat. But J. Ali, how can you explain there are so many causes? Your microphone is mute. Professor J. Ali, just unmute your microphone. Before your discussion, Professor J. Ali, let me share some points or causes of frustration for the graduates.
Okay.
One is.
Are you getting me? Are you getting me now, Professor Habib?
Oh, okay.
Just
okay.
You,
I was just kidding.
As you are conducting session in English, so allow me to tell only 2 lines in Bengali, if you allow.
Yeah, I'm just coming to you. Just coming. Let me share few points that actually caused mental turmoil situation for the young class and the graduates and the young students. That is, one is they don't love to manage their time, right? And COVID, especially in particular, makes them desperate sometimes, disrupted. And unemployment. Professor J. Ali, you obviously keep focus on graduate student. Actually, what they should do currently, they are searching for unemployment, which makes them disturbed. Currently, as they are passing free time, suffocated time, stuck time, they are over exaggerated and anxious for job. Another cause is feeling of worthlessness. When the unemployed person coming to the parents' eyesight and the community people, relatives and neighbors, again and again, they feels like disturbed, rubbish sometime, worthless sometime. Actually, these are the causes of unhappiness, of the frustration of the graduates. So, J. Ali, how could you explain this so many things and how graduate can utilize this time to be prepared for the quotation of Jack Ma? Just let me share the quotation of Jack Ma. Jack Ma told, today is dark, tomorrow will be the worst, and day after tomorrow will be the sunshine. How could you match this quotation with these graduates, those who are waiting eagerly for getting job? Thank you, Professor J. Ali. Please go on.
Habib, please allow me to speak only 2 lines in Bengali.
Yes, please. Yes. Your time is 4 minutes, 2 minutes Bengali, 2 minutes English. Okay.
No, 2 lines only Bengali. That is,
all right.
I'll tell you.
All right. Carry on.
আমি অনেক সময় ছাত্রদের বলে থাকি যে দুঃখের পাখিরা তোমার মাথার উপর দিয়ে উড়ে যাবে, তুমি চাইলেই তাদের আটকাতে পারবে না, শুধু মনে রেখো তারা যেন তোমার মাথায় বাসা বাঁধতে না পারে। Now the situation is that situation we are prevailing, we are living now. Some birds with sorrow messages are passing our heads. Over the head they are flying. So, my dear
Right.
fellow students, just think that birds must not make a nest on your head. You know, Professor Habib, while the darkness
Yes.
is deeper, while the darkness is becoming deeper, the next morning sun is coming shorter, coming soon.
True,
Isn't it?
true. It's very great quotation.
So,
Right.
so, so we have to mind it. If you have willingness, will force, nothing will be impossible for you. Nothing will be make a barrier in your success.
True.
There is story in Mahabharata. There is a story in Mahabharata. There is a boy named Ekalabha, you know. Ekalabha went to his guru Dronacharya for learning how to run the archer, you know. Can I speak this story in Bengali if you allow me for better understanding of
Yeah, yeah,
our?
yeah, yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
carry on, carry on.
thank you, thank you.
Carry on.
একলব্য যখন দ্রোণাচার্যের কাছে যায় তীর চালনা শিখতে, দ্রোণাচার্য ছিল মহাভারতের সবচেয়ে বড় অস্ত্রগুরু এবং অর্জুন পঞ্চপাণ্ডবদের অস্ত্রগুরু। একলব্য ছিল নিচু জাতের সন্তান, ফিডেল কাস্ট, একেবারে লোয়ার ক্লাস। এই জন্য একলব্যকে দ্রোণাচার্য তীর চালানো শেখায়নি। বলো তুমি যে ক্লাসের, তোমাকে আমি তীর চালানো শেখাতে পারবো না। একলব্য কিন্তু মন খারাপ করে ফিরে আসে। আফটার ফিউ ডেজ বনের মধ্যে কিছু ছেলে মেয়ে খেলতে গিয়ে তাদের আংটি, হাতের আংটি কুয়াতে পড়ে যায় এবং সেই দিক দিয়ে একলব্য যাচ্ছিল। সে কুয়ার ওই দিক দিয়ে আবার কোইন্সিডেন্টলি দ্রোণাচার্য অর্জুনকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছিল। ওই কুয়ার থেকে আংটি যখন ওই বাচ্চা ছেলে মেয়ে উঠাতে পারছিল না, তখন একলব্য তীর দিয়ে সে আংটিকে গেঁথে ফেলে, আরেকটা তীর দিয়ে আরেক আংটি এভাবে তীরটা সে তুলে নিয়ে আসে, আংটি তুলে নিয়ে আসে তীর দিয়ে। তখন অর্জুন তার গুরুকে জিজ্ঞেস করে যে গুরু, এই বিদ্যা তো আমাদের আপনি শেখাননি, আপনি তো সবচেয়ে বড় অস্ত্রগুরু, মহাভারতের সবচেয়ে বড় অস্ত্রগুরু, তাহলে এই ছেলেকে কে এটা শেখালো? দ্রোণাচার্যকে দেখে তখন একলব্য তার পায়ে প্রণাম করে এবং বলে যে আপনি আমার গুরু, আপনি আমাকে শিখিয়েছেন। অবাক হয়ে যায় দ্রোণাচার্য, বলে কিভাবে সম্ভব? বলে আমি ছোটবেলা আপনার কাছে গিয়েছিলাম, আপনি আমাকে ডিনাই করেছিলেন, আমি আমার বাড়িতে এসে আপনার কায়া দিয়ে I made an idol on your shape of body and start practicing on how to start going, how to start archer, how to become a good archer, কিভাবে একজন তীরন্দাজ হওয়া যায়। আপনার মূর্তিকে সামনে নিয়ে আমি তীর চালনা শুরু করি, প্র্যাকটিস করি এবং এইভাবে আমি তীর চালনা করি এবং আজকে আমি এতটুকু প্র্যাকটিশনার হয়েছি। তো আমার প্রশ্ন হলো যে উস্তাদের কাছে প্রত্যাখ্যাত হয়েও যদি একলব্য জগতের সেরা তীরন্দাজ হতে পারে, অন্ধ হয়েও হেলেন কিলার যদি শুধুমাত্র বই পড়ে তার সময়ে শ্রেষ্ঠ মানুষ হতে পারে, তাহলে আমার সময়ের ছাত্র অনলাইন ফ্যাসিলিটিস নেই বলে কেন সে পিছিয়ে থাকবে? এই জন্য সে পিছিয়ে থাকবে কারণ তার উইলনেস নেই, উইল ফোর্স নেই, তার মধ্যে স্টেমিনা নেই, তার গুরু নেই। আমি শুধু আপনাকে প্রশ্ন করতে চাই, আপনি দেখেন কিনা এই প্রোগ্রামটা, ডাচ বাংলা ব্যাংক প্রথম আলোর একটা প্রোগ্রাম হয় ডাচ বাংলা ব্যাংকের, সেখানে থাউজেন্ডস অফ স্টুডেন্ট কেম ফ্রম রুরাল এরিয়া ইন বাংলাদেশ। রিক্সাওয়ালার সন্তান বিসিএস ক্যাডার হয়েছে, ঠিক কিনা? আমরা বেশিরভাগ ছেলে মেয়ে, আমরা যারা প্রফেসর জিয়ালি কেম ফ্রম ভিলেজ। আমার একটা ভাঙ্গা সাপড়া ছিল, সাপড়া পর্যন্ত ছোট ঘর ছিল যেখানে পড়াশোনা করতাম। সেই ঘর ছিল লাকড়ির বেড়া, লাকড়ি মানে শোলা পাটখুরি। সেই ঘরের এক পাশ দিয়ে শিয়াল গিয়ে আর এক পাশ দিয়ে বেরোতে পারতো, দরজা ছিল না সেই ঘরে। সেই ঘরের থেকে পড়াশোনা করে রাজশাহী বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে পড়াশোনা করেছি। উইল ফোর্স ছিল, আজকে একটা জায়গায় এসে দাঁড়িয়েছি। যারা প্রশ্ন করেছে যে ইন্টারনেট ফ্যাসিলিটিস নাই, রিমোটেড এরিয়াতে আছি, আমরা ফার্স্ট এইডেড, আমাদের কন্ডিশন ভালো নেই, ফ্যামিলি কন্ডিশন ভালো নেই। অ্যাকচুয়ালি ডক্টর হাবিব, তাদের নেই উইল ফোর্স, তাদের নেই ভেতরের স্টেমিনা, তাদের নেই জীবনের একটা টার্গেট। জীবনে উঠে আসার জন্য একজন ছাত্রকে প্রথমে উইল ফোর্স নিয়ে আগাতে হবে, তাকে জেদ করতে হবে। সে কোথায় যেতে চায় এটা তার মাইন্ড আইস আগে আঁকতে হবে, সে এটা এঁকেছে কিনা এটা দেখতে হবে, সে তার তার অবচেতন মনকে কি মেসেজ দিয়েছে। আরেকটা প্রসঙ্গে শুধু বলবো, আই এম সরি ফর স্পিকিং বেঙ্গলি continuously. I'm
It's
sorry for
all right. All right. Carry on. Carry on.
sorry. I'm willing to tell you.
Carry on. I will just.
যে পবিত্র কোরআনে আছে যে যে পথ দেখিবার চেষ্টা করে আমি তাকে পথ দেখাইয়া থাকি। যে পথ দেখিবার চেষ্টা করে, আমার ছাত্ররা তুমি পথ দেখতে চেয়েছো কিনা, তুমি পথ দেখতে পথে নেমেছো কিনা। যে আসলে পথে নামে, he who starts his journey, you know, the walk of thousands miles starts from a one leg. There is a proverb. So my students, one thing you have to understand, how much you have will force in you, how much you are ready to be struggler, then everything will be easy for you. Teachers are there, your mentors are there, everything will be for you. So you have to make a will force first, you have to make a goal. As I told earlier, you have to make your goal first, then you will find your way, how will you run your life, how will you start your journey. You know, this COVID must not prevail forever, this COVID must not exist forever, it must be erased in future. There is a proverb also, there is a proverb, সময় সব ক্ষতের উপশম ঘটায়। This situation must not be long run, but if you become frustrated now, this thing will be in your head for long term, and that can make a mental pressure on you, that can make you frustrated, and this frustration make a great disease for you also. So think positively. Dr. Dimti said well, Dr. Shahadat said accordingly. So you have to be cheerful, of course, because your thinking in you, your positivity in you. If you think negatively, you know, you know, inside the man, some I mean, মানুষের মস্তিষ্কে যে হরমোন গুলো নিঃসরিত হয়, I am telling you that thing, hormone, that is when a man become very frustrated, 3 hormone ejected from his head. One is dopamine, endorphin এবং cortisol. If these 3 hormone erase from your head, that must devastate your life, that must devastate your future, and that must devastate your entire positivity in you. So don't try to erase that hormone from your head. So be cherish all time, be cheerful all time, and one hormone try to bring from your head, that is HGH hormone, that will bring you happier, that will bring you younger, like Professor Habib. So my suggestion to you, all my fellows,
no, Professor Jiali must say Professor Muniruzzaman and Professor Shahadat, not me. I'm old man, right? I might be the old man.
No, Muniruzzaman and Dr. Shahadat is always young, of course, and pretty lady,
right.
Of course, yeah. all are so young. I am also young, I think also young,
Right.
but my please, so please
Right.
don't see your problem, concentrate to your prospect. You know, only 4 or 5% in Bangladesh 4 or 5% become the graduate successfully among whole population. Try to understand. You are luckier one as you are studying in university level. You are graduating from a prestigious university. So why you become frustrated here? My question
True,
is that.
man. True.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's over. Professor J. Ali is very crazy. Just one quotation. Let me share Professor J. Ali, right? One quotation, actually, Jack Ma again told, try to recruit not the brightest one, just try to recruit the craziest one, right? Just like Professor J. Ali, who has craziness. Could you see me, Professor J. Ali?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. There are a few more comments before coming to the comments. Actually, dear viewers, friends and audience, guardians, colleagues from home and abroad, actually, I requested my honorable guest for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Already 1 hour and 45 minutes closely, and so still we are remaining on another 15 minutes. We will go on. Just these days, I'd like to share the poster of tomorrow's session on mental health and war against COVID-19. Professor coming that I again telling you, this platform, this is a global platform. This is a global leaders platform. Community Talks is my YouTube channel. Community Social Workers Network, this is our social work group, Facebook. Community Talks BD, this is a Facebook page. And Community Social Workers, Social Work Practice and Development Foundation, that is my foundation actually, just to promote social work in Bangladesh, keeping a view globally. I would like to share you this poster just for a look for tomorrow. Tomorrow, 14:30 Bangladesh time. Just a second. Actually, dear viewers, this is the poster for tomorrow. Hope you will join tomorrow noon time, that is 14:30 to 2:30 p.m. Bangladesh time. And for global friends, this is GMT+6. Hope you will be with us tomorrow. Mental well-being and community resilience in war against COVID-19 tomorrow. 3 professors from Malaysia, Singapore, and Japan will attend the session tomorrow. So I would like to come back again to today's session. Of the poster, please. There are a few more comments. I will come back to Professor Muniruzzaman. There are a few more comments actually for all of us. A.K. Zohari just wrote excellent. Jahangir Alam Shimon from Malaysia wrote great example, Professor J. Ali sir. Mansoor Ali, super Professor J. Ali, awesome example. So Professor J. Ali, actually I don't know why people are appreciating you for your smart bald head or the talks. I'm not sure actually. It's amazing. Munir Hussain from America, USA, Texas Tech University. Great session. Mr. Waris, Professor J. Ali, right you are. Mansoor Ali, Muniruzzaman sir, thank you for giving example by using your family members. Waris, I to salute both of the quotes from Jack Ma, narrated by Habib sir. In fact, both of the quotes deserves a lot, really. Rizal Kurim watching, Shakti Prabhashir, Rizal Kurim excellent session. Dear viewers, we will just provide our honorable speakers. Again, I'm telling you, just sharing 4 speakers. Mr. Muniruzzaman from bottom to second, Professor Muniruzzaman, currently working in Asha University of Bangladesh, is an eminent scholar, academician, researcher in Bangladesh, and also quality expert. Actually, for time shortage, we cannot go on that part really, but I will request Professor Muniruzzaman, just within 2 minutes, what are the co-curricular activities that current students do during this COVID time, just to make them skill like that, pardon me, একটা বাংলা বলতে চাই, বাংলা, ডিম্পি, I'm coming back to you for English translation. বেঙ্গলিতে হলো
That's okay,
আমরা
I
বস জিতের, কলকাতা, ভারত, ইন্ডিয়ার জিতের, সুপার জিতের একটা ছবি আমি দেখছিলাম, বস অর বস টু সামহাউ, একটা ডায়ালগ ছিল ভাই ওখানে, ডায়ালগটা ঠিক এরকম ছিল, আমি শেষ অংশে দেখেছি, ডায়ালগ ছিল যে ডোন্ট রিলাই অন সামবডি, জাস্ট ট্রাই টু বি দ্য বস of your own kingdom. My dear students and fellow, I'd like to request you, just try to create your own world by dint of your virtue and quality and achievements. Try to create your own world. Don't rely or don't lie others' creativity. This is my suggestions. Let's come to Professor Munirujjaman. Your time is 2 minutes. And this 2 minutes is the last time. So you will be on set after 2 minutes. I will just conclude after the other speakers take part on this session. Thank you. Co-curricular, why this is very important during this COVID time.
Okay, Professor Habib. First of all, I'd like to say that to all the students, be it with curricular or co-curricular or extracurricular activities, my suggestion is that don't take life so seriously. Take life as a fun. So when you want to engage yourself in any kind of co-curricular activities, you don't need to think that what I can do.
Right.
You don't need to think that if I am going to engage in, for example, this one or that one, can I do it or not? So don't take it in that way. Just have fun. Rather take the challenge that I cannot do this or that, so I'll try to learn that today. And nowadays, lots of resources are available. You can use even the YouTube. Lots of tutorials are there on many things. Even if you start with painting, if you want to build some toys or anything, whatever you do, so you can do that. So, but those are extracurricular actually. But co-curricular, sometimes it is difficult to find a borderline between co-curricular and extracurricular. So the things which can support our curricular activities, that these are called co-curricular. For example, it can be any kind of a skill development, anything. So my suggestion is that whatever you do, as I said, I started with taking as fun. I think all of you have watched 3 Idiots. Sorry, not 3 Idiots. This is Tare Zameen Par, a movie, Tare Zameen Par, in which the last scene where there is a kind of painting competition arranged. So some of the teachers who could not paint well, but they also participated. Initially, these people were very angry with their students, but they took it as a fun and then enjoyed it. So they enjoyed the session.
Right.
So in doing any kind of co-curricular, extracurricular, whatever you do, just take it. You have talent hidden within yourself. So try to explore your hidden talent. It can be in any way. So as I said that we have the internet resources, so that should be used positively instead of passing meaningless time with the social media. Rather pass meaningful time. So you can go for that, and it doesn't mean that you have to always take lesson from the online resources. So there are so many things you can do, and being busy with that thing, that is more important. And another thing is that overall, so rather than focusing on co-curricular, let me focus on how to be positive. That is, anything that you do when you are passing a tough time, remember that life is like that. I sometimes give this example to my students. So sometimes we do the shooting practice with air gun, sometimes in the park with there are lots of bubbles of balloon. So take life like that. If you have so many targets in your life, so targets are like those bubbles of balloons of different colors. If you miss one target, go for another. If you miss another target, go for another. Take life as fun. If you just
Oh, it might be internet connection problem. So should I come to Professor J. Ali again? Professor, before coming to Professor J. Ali, just dear viewers, let me share one thing. Professor J. Ali is a researcher, academician, master trainer that actually Professor Shahadat and Monirujjaman do personally. So let me share one book's name of Professor, written by Professor J. Ali. That is, name is Shafolotar Prothom Part. Dr. Dimpy, that is first step of success. Dear viewers, students, friends, fellow friends, and colleagues, Professor J. Ali wrote a book that is Shafolotar Prothom Part. So I hope I may suggest you to at least see the book at a glance, just to reduce your frustration and go on the steps. So let me come to Professor J. Ali. We'll try again to keep Monirujjaman ahead with us. So Professor J. Ali, your time is 2 minutes. John Keats says, small is beauty. So within 2 minutes, you have to try to conclude with keep internet connection well. Professor J. Ali, could you hear me?
Actually, one question raised from a viewer, that is some students were passing their life with doing a job side by side their education. What is their condition now? One question raised such type of previously. You, Dr. Habib, is not it?
Yeah.
So
Right.
actually, my
Yeah.
answer is that 90% of students are dependent from family. I mean, they're dependent on family. 10% student, in my experience, I have been teaching there for more than 17 years, only 10% students are from their own bread and butter. So actually this COVID-19 will make problem for those, hardly make problem for those 10% students. But the 90% student will be sufferer, but not that much they are thinking actually, because the parents are always aware of their spending of students, of their dependents. So how much they are thinking for their surviving, that is not totally based on fact and reality. Actually, they should be concentrated on their study, on their goal and target. Their family will take and look after how they will survive economically. I am talking those 90% students, try to understand. So rest of the 10% students, those are really in problem. I told you all earlier, no problem doesn't exist for long term. You just keep yourself silently. Try to understand. কচ্ছপ কিন্তু বেশিরভাগ সময় ঘুমিয়ে থাকে, ঘুম দেয়, ঝিম মেরে থাকে। Just you keep yourself calm and quiet. If you become crazy, if you become frustrated, you must not take the good decision for your life. You must not think for your new earnings if your present earning is interrupted for COVID. Dr. Habib, are you listening?
Yeah. Carry on.
Just I am telling one thing, for the 10%, those are in problem, severe problem. Just you calm and quiet. You think intelligently. How will you search for second earning source, as your first earning source is in problem due to COVID? If you become frustrated, if you become hot-headed, you must not think positively, and your problem must not be solved, and your problem will be bigger and bigger, of course. So my dear fellow, you just keep your head cool first, keep your cool head first. Think how you can sourcing your bread and butter. Secondly, you just knock your neighbor, your colleagues, your teachers, your relatives, someone of course waiting for you to help.
Right.
সাগরের নিচে যে প্রাণী আছে, তার জন্যও কিন্তু বিধাতা একটা রিজিকের ব্যবস্থা করছে। যে প্রাণী চোখেও দেখে না, কানেও চেনে না, তার ব্যবস্থা হচ্ছে না, হচ্ছে। আজকে তোমার ব্যবস্থাও হবে বা তার ব্যবস্থাও হবে। সো উপরওয়ালার উপর ভরসা রাখতে হবে, যে যে ধর্মেরই হোক। Allah will solve your problem, and you have to keep
All right.
up
All
your
right.
trying. You have to keep up your trying. You never go to your relatives, as you are the earning source of you. So you contact your relatives, you contact your teachers in my
Professor J.
teaching life.
Ali, very good discussion, Professor J. Ali. That I mentioned, small is beauty. Time is up, so please could you conclude just saying the last word?
Yes. My last word is for the disaster students, those are fallen in trouble. Actually, they think প্রবাদে আছে যে তোমার জীবনের যদি প্রত্যেকটা রাস্তা, প্রত্যেকটা পথ রুদ্ধ হয়ে যায়, if you always stopped, think one way, one path, one road is opening for you also. That is not your own way, that will come from different way. তোমার জীবনের প্রত্যেকটা পথ যখন বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে, মনে রেখো তোমার জন্য আরেকটা পথ তৈরি হয়ে যাচ্ছে তোমার অজান্তে। So don't get frustrated at all. Professor Habib, be cheerful. Inshallah, problem will be solved soon. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Dear viewers, we are very, very close to the end. Just two other speakers. Let me share some views, and some other friends lastly joined from Argentina. Vladimiro Alexis Chiaton. Vladimiro, thanks a lot. You could join with us from Argentina. Actually, it's reverse timing. It's very difficult to join to match the time. Thanks a lot. Jahangir Alam Shumon, it's true at this present situation. Nice explanation, Professor Sir. Sharik Sharkar, great. Manirudjaman Sir, thank you for your nice. Let me come to the conclusion, and before that, let me come to Professor Dr. Dimpe. Just time is very short time. Your time is 90 seconds, right? And before that, let me just tell you something. This is the time to just wake up with belief and spirituality, right? Globally, the global leaders, the press, they're telling like this: whatever religion you do believe, it doesn't matter, but just keep faith on this blindly. Do worship on your own religion. And same way, Bill Gates told, this is the time, COVID-19, that they're actually teaching us so many things in terms of spirituality. During COVID, Italy president just raised his hand and told to the God, creator, almighty creator, we are finished from all sides, finance, economy, right? And from courage, things are done. So just God, do something for us. Canadian Prime Minister told like this. So how could you suggest people to keep faith? That Professor J. Ali lastly told, actually, keep faith on courage, keep going, trust and believe. Last of all, to Almighty Creator, of course, that is the last belief out of all these things. So how could you suggest us to be stagnant on trying and spirituality?
Thank you so much, Professor Rahman. The only thing that I would like to end up with, thanks to every viewers for observing us and viewing our particular program. At last, I would just like to say that have faith, keep faith. Change is the only constant in life, and this too shall pass. And with that, I would also like, since I have already mentioned about the various coping skills which will help you in adapting to the present situation better, I would like to end it by saying what Professor Rahman also had said and Professor Ali also had said, that it is very important to have faith. It is very important to practice gratitude. It is very important at this hour to practice compassion. it is very important to practice forgiveness, to practice, optimism. As already has been said, that positive thinking will take you far. So you need to practice positive thinking. This too shall pass. And at last, I would say this is the time to practice spirituality. Spirituality and religiosity are different. So you can be from any faith, but have faith in a superpower who is controlling everything, controlling the entire universe. So I would say have faith in humanity. So as in our language we say Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which says the entire world is a family. We also use terms like Ubuntu in African. It's an African term which says that I am because we are, or because you are. That's why I exist. So we all are not individual islands. We all are interconnected. And I thank, in fact, Professor Rahman for having organized this lovely program. And that itself shows that how connected we all are. We may be from different countries, but we all have a common concern as of today. And we together, we will definitely overcome and this particular crisis situation. Thank you so much. We can't hear you. Professor Rahman, it is mute. Yeah.
All right. Are you okay to hear me?
Now
Could you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Last part, and actually not the list, because we're coming again to you. Professor Dr. Muhammad Shahid Hussain, what is your last views to share? You can speak Bengali for your last comment to our wider scales of, audience followers here. Then I can lastly put comments on that. So actually, what COVID teaches us? কি শিখিয়ে গেল আমাদের?
Thank you, Dr. Rahman, for the nice topic that you came in front of us. So I asked for the permission to Professor Dimpi to speak in Bengali, right? Hopefully, she don't mind. So, আমার প্রথম কথা হচ্ছে, আমরা যখন বলি যে আমি কাউকে ভালোবাসি, think of it. আমি কি কখন আমাকে বলেছি যে I love myself? আমি কখনো আমাকে বলি না যে আমি যেমনই হই আমি আমাকে ভালোবাসি, রাইট? সো আমি যখন ভাববো যে আই এম দ্য বেস্ট ক্রিয়েটর অফ দ্য গড, সৃষ্টির সর্বোচ্চ সেরা জীবটা আমি, তখন আমাকে ভাবতে হবে আমার জন্য সৃষ্টিকর্তা সেরকম একটা প্ল্যানও আছে, যেটা ডক্টর প্রফেসর আলী বলে গেছে। আমাদের একটা প্ল্যান আছে, আমরা প্রত্যেকটা মানুষের জন্য সৃষ্টিকর্তার একটা ভিন্ন ভিন্ন প্ল্যান আছে। আপনি যদি মনে করেন যে কোভিড কেন এসেছে, তার নিশ্চয়ই একটা প্ল্যান আছে, এবং আমাদের সবার জন্য একটা পথ, অল্টারনেটিভ পথ সবসময় খোলা থাকে। ছাত্রছাত্রী যারা এখন ফ্রাস্ট্রেশনে ভুগতেছে, আমি বলবো ডোন্ট বি ফ্রাস্ট্রেটেড, ইটস আ পার্ট অফ ইউর লাইফ। একসময় এমনও হতে পারে এই শিক্ষাটা তোমার জীবনের সবচেয়ে বড় শিক্ষা হতে পারে কোন ইনসিডেন্সে। সো কিপ হোপ, আশা ছেড়ে দেওয়া যাবে না, রাইট? ফ্যামিলিকে সাপোর্ট করতে হবে। আমি 2 মাস বাড়িতে আছি, আমি কখনো আমার ছেলেকে এতটা সময় দেইনি যে সময়টা এখন দিতে পারছি। দ্যাট ইজ অ্যান অ্যাচিভমেন্ট অফ লাইফ। আমি আমার ফ্যামিলিকে কখনো এইভাবে দেখিনি যে 2 মাস আমি বাড়িতে আছি। 2 months I am here at my home, but I see my family very closely to each other because I didn't have too much time during my normal office hours, right? That is the achievement. I will say develop your soft skill, নিজেকে ভালোবাসতে শেখো, রাইট? এবং সেই সাথে সমাজটাকে ভালোবাসতে শিখতে হবে, কিভাবে সমাজের প্রতি রেসপন্সিবল হওয়া যায়, এবং সেই সাথে নিজের একাডেমিক কারিকুলামটাকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখতে হবে। ভিতরের যে শক্তিটুকু আছে এটাকে মেরে ফেললে হবে না বাবা। এই শিক্ষাটা জীবনের একটা অংশ, এটাকে সারা জীবনের পাথেয় হিসেবে আগাতে হবে। খারাপ সময় আসবে, খারাপ সময়টা মেনে নিয়েই আমাদের সামনের দিকে আগাতে হবে। এজন্য বসে থেকে নিজেকে মেরে ফেলার কোনো মানে হয় না। মনে রেখো, তুমি মরে গেলে এই জীবন, এই দুনিয়া থেমে থাকবে না। তোমাকে 2 দিন 4 দিন মনে রাখবে, তারপরে সবাই ভুলে যাবে। তো তুমি বেঁচে থেকেই বরং কিছু সাকসেস করো। and that is my last topic. Stay alive, keep hope, and start forwarding. Thank you.
Great, man. Great speech, really. Last of all, Professor Shahadat delivered a wonderful speech. So, dear viewers, actually, we are lost and running after time, but Professor Munirujjaman was running after network, right? Connection. So, you time 40 seconds.
I got disconnected.
Just say hello, having 2 or 3 words. What should you follow this time to fill people with empathy or sympathy? that Professor Shahadat told earlier. Really, we have to feel and love people.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, I'd like to also add with them, all of them, very well said. So the thing is that whatever learning, the last thing that what Professor Shahadat said, that whatever we have learned now, that is the thing that we have to focus on now. That is the great thing that we have learned, and we have to think for what about this. That is, we have to now learn how to live not only for ourselves but live for others as well. Now there are so many billionaires in this country who used to go to Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia for their treatment. Now they cannot go. Even with their money, they cannot have a ventilator. I think about this. That means what? We did not make our health service system, that kind of good system. Even there are so many billionaires who can invest in this field. So we only made it a kind of commodity, health service as a commodity. So that's why we are suffering now. In the same manner, in all sectors now, and individually, every individual must now think that whatever I do, my every action counts, my every step counts. So whatever step I take, I must give a second thought that what I'm doing now, am I doing something good for the society, for the community? If I am not doing that, the bad thing will come as a boomerang to me as well. So whatever we do, we have to do always keeping in mind about the community where I live, keeping in mind about the people that I live with. So everyone is important in this society. We cannot live alone. So this COVID-19, I believe that it taught us this message that we have to learn how to live for others, how to live together with obviously compassion, with sympathy and empathy for each of us. Thank you.
Very good. Dr. Dimpy, may I be allowed to speak my finishing talks in Bengali? Because you might understand a little bit. শুধু দর্শক যারা আজকে এ পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথে ছিলেন বাংলাদেশ এবং বাংলাদেশের বাইরে প্রত্যেককে আমি বাংলায় প্রথমে ধন্যবাদ জানাই। শেষে যে কমেন্টগুলো এসেছে, জাহাঙ্গীর আলম সুমন ফ্রম মালয়েশিয়া, গ্রেট ফিনিশিং ডক্টর শাহাদাত স্যার, শাকির সরকার, ডক্টর এমডি শাহাদাত হোসেন স্যার, আপনার লাস্ট পিসটা খুব ভালো লাগলো, ভেরি গুড। অ্যাকচুয়ালি সবাই চমৎকার বলেছে, আই এম ইমপ্রেসড। আমি কিছুটা তালগোল পাকিয়ে ফেলছিলাম, কিছুটা আবেগ আপ্লুত হচ্ছিলাম প্রত্যেকের এত সুন্দর চমৎকার ডেলিভারি দেখে। স্নিগ্ধা রহমান লিখেছে গ্রেট সেশন, থ্যাঙ্কস আ লট। আমেনা কাকুলি লিখেছে রাইট ব্রো শাহাদাত হুসাইন। মনসুর আলী লিখেছে, মনসুর আলী comment is coming actually. Professor Shahadat Waris লিখেছেন, it has been pleasing enough to listen to you. Bengali conclusion, in particular a comprehensive conclusion you served it. Actually প্রত্যেক স্পিকারকে আমরাই কিছুটা আবদ্ধ করেছিলাম আমার মনে হয় করোনার মতো করে, যেহেতু বাইরের ভিউয়ার্সরা থাকে ফর দেয়ার বেটার আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং, আমাদের কিছুটা স্বার্থপর হতে হয়েছিল। আমি সবশেষে যারা যারা যুক্ত ছিলেন প্রত্যেককে, and my all friends from different countries, my sincere greetings and regards from the core hearts of me and my speakers to all of you, and my respected speakers. Special thanks and gratitude to all of you. And already I said we are grateful to Almighty who has given us that space and flow today to share some views with the people globally. আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই এবং শ্রদ্ধা চিত্তে স্মরণ করতে চাই বাংলাদেশের পুলিশ বাহিনী, পুলিশ ভাই বোনরা আছেন, জব করছেন, যারা ফ্রন্ট লাইনার, ডক্টর নার্স যারা ফাইট করছেন, রাস্তায় যারা সবজি বিক্রি করে আমাদের জীবনটাকে লিভেবল রেখেছেন, keep us alive, they're trying hard and sales people, right? All sales people, right? This is marketing language actually. So thank you, Julfik. They are doing heart and soul, they are trying a lot. সর্বোপরি অবশ্যই বলবো যে বাংলাদেশ গভর্নমেন্ট, বাংলাদেশের মতো 17 কোটি মানুষের একটা দেশে ওভার পপুলেটেড হওয়ার পরেও অনেকগুলো স্টেপ ইতিমধ্যে গভর্নমেন্ট নিয়েছেন। ধনী যারা রিচেস্ট ক্লাস পিপল তারা নিয়েছেন, এবং অনেকগুলো ছোট ছোট নতুন আঙ্গিকে গড়ে ওঠা অনেকগুলো সমাজ সেবামূলক প্রতিষ্ঠান আছে, যারা ইভেন ব্র্যাক সহ অনেকগুলো বড় প্রতিষ্ঠান আছে যারা এই দুর্দিনে মানুষের পাশে এগিয়ে এসেছে। আর আমাদের জায়গা থেকে আমরা আপনাদের মাধ্যমে এইটুকু শেয়ার করতে চাই যে আমাদের চেষ্টা এটুকু যে হয়তো কিছুটা নলেজ শেয়ার করতে পেরেছি, জানি না কতটুকু দিতে পেরেছি আপনাদের মাঝে, বাট আমার শুধু মনে হয়েছে যে কোভিডে যেহেতু বাইরে যেতে পারছি না, অ্যাটলিস্ট একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম থাকুক যেখানে অল ডাইমেনশনাল স্পিকার্স এন্ড স্কলার্স আসবে, তাদের কথাগুলো শেয়ার করবে। একটা কথা বলে রাখতে হয়, আসলে ভিউয়ার্স না বলবো, গ্রাজুয়েট যারা আছো তোমরা যারা পড়ছো তাদের উদ্দেশ্যে প্রফেসর জিয়ালি যে কথা বলেছেন, ডক্টর শাহাদাত যে কথা বলেছেন, ডক্টর ডিম্পি এবং প্রফেসর মনিরুজ্জামান যে কথা বলেছেন, সবকিছুর সামারি আমি যদি আসলে আমি এভাবে আজকে আনতে চাই, উইলিয়াম শেক্সপিয়ার একটা কথা বলেছেন যে উই নো হোয়াট উই আর টুডে, but no, not what we may be tomorrow, which is depending on your efforts and trial again and again, having so many errors. একইভাবে আরেকটা কোটেশন, এডউইন কোল, প্রফেশনাল মোটিভেটর, উনি বলেছেন যে সাকসেসফুল পিপল রিকগনাইজ স্ট্রেস এন্ড ক্রাইসিস অ্যাজ এ টাইম ফর চেঞ্জ, from bigger, smaller to, or lesser to bigger, smaller to bigger, or lesser to, greater, smaller to bigger. লাস্ট অফ অল, যেটা আমার জীবনে আমি মানার চেষ্টা করছি, আমার জীবনে সবচেয়ে এখন যেটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ মনে হয় যে জীবন, কিছুদিন আগে আফজাল হোসেন ভাইয়ের একটা কমেন্ট দেখেছি, পড়ে আমি খুব আবেগ আপ্লুত হয়ে পড়েছিলাম। কমেন্টে এরকম যে জীবনটা হলো আসলে দুভাবে জীবনকে উপভোগ করা যায়। একটা হলো যারা শুধু নিজের জন্য ভাবে, তাদের জীবনটা হচ্ছে এক ঠুঙ্গা চানাচুরের মতো, যদি আমি ভুল বলে না থাকি, ইজ এ প্যাকেট অফ চানাচুর। ইফ ইউ আর সেলফিশ individualistic thinker, if you don't share the chanachur with somebody, when you finish the chanachur eating, the tunga, the packet will be just folded and thrown out the dustbin. Nobody care for it after your death. But if you are a caring person, if you are a person who has a sympathy and empathy that the professor told, if you have caring for the people, if you have responsibility for the community and people, if you have caring and sharing for the people, for the community, after your death, the whole world and your community, especially out of your family, will remain in heart. That is my last talk. যারা দেখেছেন আজকে, আগামীকাল আবারও থাকবেন। This is a community leaders platform ইউটিউব চ্যানেল, কমিউনিটি টক্স। সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন, বেশি বেশি শেয়ার করুন, এটা সারা বিশ্বকে একসাথে করবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। সমস্ত নলেজকে আমরা একসাথে আনতে চাই। সমাজকর্মীদের প্ল্যাটফর্ম থেকে আমরা জাগ্রত করতে চাই মানবতার মধ্যে যে সমাজকর্মই সেরা, প্রত্যেকের হৃদয়ে সমাজকর্ম বেঁচে থাকুক। শেষ করতে চাই একটা কোটেশন, নেপোলিয়নের সে বিখ্যাত কোটেশন, the world suffers a lot because of the violence of the bad people. The world not suffers a lot, suffers a lot because of the silence of the good people. অর্থাৎ আমরা প্রত্যেকে অনেস্ট মানুষ দাবি করি, প্রত্যেকেই ভাবি we have a good soul but not outspoken. We should come out. শেষ কথা হলো, মোটিভেশন স্পিকার আমরা যেটা বলি যে think out of the box. আমি একটু ডিফার করে বলতে চাই আজকে এই ফেসবুক লাইভে, আমি অ্যাগ্রি করি প্রথমত থিংস আউট অফ দ্য বক্স, এটার আগে আসা উচিত থিঙ্ক উইদিন দ্য বক্স অ্যাট লিস্ট, বিকজ আমরা মেনি পিপল আছি যারা নিজেদের দায়িত্বটুকু ঠিক মতো পালন করি না। সো হ্যান্ডস আপ টু এভরিবডি এন্ড স্যালুট টু অল your speakers and the audience. Hope to see you again. Thanks a lot. Good night and good afternoon again, everybody. Thanks a lot.